What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're back working on the wagon. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with the quarters. Right now I'm sanding them down to see how bad the fiberglass and rust and all that stuff is. I started sanding down the driver's side already, and I mean, it looks better just because anytime you're doing body work, you're like, ooh, that looks sick. But if you look here, it looks like this was actually metal that was fiberglassed back in or something along those lines. So I have a feeling I'm gonna have to cut way more than I thought, but it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not super pressed about it because it's just a matter of cutting and welding. I know that sounds simple, but you know, either way, this is a starting point. But on this side is the worrisome part, because that's a lot of just fiberglass. I'm actually probably just gonna yank it and just get it off of there, because I just don't want it there anymore. Like, it just looks like crap, and I want to start sanding it down and seeing how far back I actually got to cut and whatnot, which is probably roughly what I just did with my finger there, and see how far forward and all that. Because if you notice, the whole arch is actually gone. Like, there's supposed to be about an inch or two piece right here that's completely gone. So I want to get all this fiberglass off of there to see where I got to go from here. So let's get that off. I tell you what, ripping this stuff off right there was very satisfying. I mean, there's a lot of fiberglass there and not a lot of car. So I'm gonna sand this back down, get all this resin and all that stuff off, back down to metal, so I know exactly where the metal is and where, you know, how far I gotta really go back to figure this out. You know, it sucks that the wheel well and stuff was cut, but realistically, I could flatten that out, weld a piece in, cover it with undercoating, and you'll never know the damn difference. I really think what I'm gonna do is get a whole quarter, or at least a section of a quarter off of another one, and just like try to weld in as much as I can, and then fill it, and then start doing the arches and stuff, because I kind of like, not necessarily these wheels, but I like this wheel fitment. So if you can kind of envision like this coming down and just flaring just a little bit, you know, just to kind of give it a little bit of lip, because these cars are really just flat and just bubble, whatever. There's no real, like, I mean, they weren't meant to be like a stylish car in my mind, but I see it. So let me get this sanded down and move on. All right, so moving forward a little bit, I got this grinded down and all that stuff moved out of the way. So now it's just kind of figuring out what's left to pull out fiberglass wise. On there, there's still some in the door jamb. Over here, you can see where this piece now that I've grinded the body filler out of the way, you know, that was patched in there and all that good stuff. So it's a little harsh, and I know people are gonna be like, oh, just rip that chassis, just go away from it, get a different one, blah, 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 blah. But like, I see this as a challenge and I want to attack it. This is all still fiberglass, as you can see. It's right here, and it goes down into here. I talked with Bobby, and he's pretty confident that, you know, we could, if I get another 2 quarters, we could put quarters on this. And yes, I'm gonna see a lot of people where they'll be like, oh, why are you doing that to, you know, a Subaru? Why are you doing it to a wagon? Whatever. It's just, I'm gonna do it. So got to get into this and figure out what all I need to patch back into it. So I'm getting more and more cut. I want to get all the fiberglass out of here. I want to get it back to the metal, back to exactly where I need to figure out how bad it is, and move on and tackle it and keep going. Because I took the side skirts off, as you can see, and obviously you can see that this rocker here is shot also, which again, it's just another task. So it's gonna be one of them projects where it's kind of like, let's just keep going, keep moving forward and whatever, because I have a vision with this and I want to achieve it. So I'm actually about to spin the car around and put it on the rack, because I'm sitting here grinding away at it and I'm like, oh, why am I leaning over, blah, 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 when I totally forgot I have a damn lift in here. So I'm gonna flip the car around, put it on the rack so that it's in my face and it's easier to work on. So I'm gonna do that. All right, guys, so it's the next day, and I got the car off the rack because I had to put another one on there to kind of look at stuff. Looking at what is all cut out and stuff, I just had one of my buddies come and look and say, oh yeah, you know, it's doable, so don't get too afraid of it. you know? So I think it's definitely coming along, and I'm seeing progress, which is cool. Speaking of progress, I did find out that this car, the timing is off. If you look right here, let the phone focus. So if you see, there is a missing tooth on the belt itself right there. Now I'm sure there's another one, but that's just the first one I found, and the timing marks are off. And I talked to a buddy of mine, and he said the early 97s luckily are non-interference engines. So I'm hoping, and again, we could be wrong. Sorry, the camera's a little dirty. Anyways, could be wrong, but it's one of the things where it's a timing belt, and this job isn't that hard, that putting a timing belt on it and a new, tensioner and all that kind of stuff, just to see, however much the timing belt is, maybe $100 for the kit or something, just to get it running and driving, and then I ain't got to worry about swapping it right now and just focus on driving it. Excuse me. Jesus, I am all over the place. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to see if I can get a timing belt kit, get it to TDC, and get the kit and see if I can get this thing to run, because it almost turns over, which sounds like its timing is off. So let's see if we can get the kit. Once I get the kit, I'm going to get this off, put the new one on, set it all up, get it right timed, and let's try to crank it. Because it would be sick to actually get this thing running and not worry about motor swapping it right now. So let's get this kit. All right, so I got the belt off, and as you can see, there's probably like 4 or 5 teeth missing. There's 3 right here, and I believe there's another one somewhere else. Yeah, there's another one right here. Now I got another timing belt. I had to track this damn thing down like numerous times because I guess there's multiple phases. There's the part number for you. I guess there's multiple phases of this engine. Come to find out, this is a phase 1. I don't know if it's a weird thing with the postals or what. I don't really know much about these cars. So luckily the guys at O'Reilly's helped me out. We took the part number off the old belt. He was able to cross-reference it and find this belt, because the problem I was having is it's been a couple days and I've been, multiple parts stores, Subaru dealerships, everything, and they're all just like a little bit longer, and I was having troubles finding it. Luckily I found what I believe is the right one. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna get this new belt put on and hopefully get this thing to crank over and start, which would be amazing. And get this thing started and running. That will be a huge come up and huge progress. So let's get that belt on and see where we go from there. All right, so I have the new belt on there. All the markings are lining up, which is awesome. It's got me very hyped right now. I'm about to put the timing belt cover on after I clean it a little bit, because it's probably never been changed. There's a lot of grime in there. So I'm gonna clean this and put it back on so I can put the crank pulley back on so that the belt doesn't walk off on me and then I have the same issue and I gotta go back and do it all again. So I got it all back tight, stuff like that. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up, put back on, and then see if it cranks. I'm getting really pumped up. I don't know if it's the energy drink that I chugged before I walked into the shop or what, but I'm getting excited. So let me get this on there and cross your fingers for me. All right, we got the cover back on, cleaned up a little bit. I didn't paint it or anything because I literally just threw a couple bolts in just to have it on there. Put the crank pulley back on. I plugged the trans lines and stuff because it is an automatic, so I'm not sure that's gonna spew out. It might make a mess from starting it. I'm also not gonna throw the radiator. I'm just gonna crank it just to see if it fires. If it fires, I'm turning it right back off, put it all back in, put the belts all back on, all that good stuff, and see how it goes. So let's get a jump box on it and just see if it cranks. All right, we got our jump box hooked up. Let's see. It's in park. Put it in park because I'd really like to see. Oh. Shut the fuck up, dude. Ah, shit. Ah! Ah! I knew it. It was gonna make a mess. Woo! But it starts, dude. I'm so pumped. Hell yeah, dude. Well, I got a mess to clean up. I'm gonna put the radiator back in, Sorry for all the loud noise, but damn, dude, I'm so excited right now. It fired right the hell up. And it doesn't sound crazy. I mean, obviously the the trans fluid spewing out of the lines kind of sounded like gargling water, but yeah, I'm gonna get the radiator back in this thing, put the belts on, top the fluids off. We might be driving this thing today, dude, at least around, you know what I mean? I don't have tags on it, kinda. So yeah, let's get the radiator back in. All right, so we got it all back together, got the belt on, the radiator in. I got the coolant in there bleeding. I'm about to start it to let this bleed more. So let's see now. Got the jump box still hooked up. Oh, it might help if I turn the jump box on, huh? There we go. Dang, you got LED headlights? That's crazy. Oh, windshield wipers work. Dang, dude. So, the O2 sensor is actually broken. So I'm either gonna block it off for right now, just so it's not so loud. It does have a muffler delete, which I'm not too much of a fan of. Let me get out of this thing because it's kind of loud in here. But I'm gonna let it run, let the coolant bleed, get up to temp, make sure the thermostat and all that stuff works. And yeah, I'm super pumped right now. All right, so I've been letting it run for a good probably half hour or so, and it's still bubbling a couple things, or still got a couple bubbles coming out of the coolant and all that. So I'm gonna let it run more and just see as much as I can get out. But this is insane. I mean, I'm so freaking pumped about this. I mean, all I did was a timing belt and the thing runs. I mean, I'm just so happy that it's a non-interference engine, which is sick. So it's still got, I don't know if you can hear this, but I'll show you when I get it on the lift. But the O2 sensor is actually rusted off from the bung. So I'm gonna be putting street rod tags on this most likely. So that means I can have custom exhaust and all that stuff. So most likely gonna do a cat delete with the bung extenders, whatever. So I still have my O2 sensors and then a resonator and a muffler and go from there. Cause like it's cool to have straight pipe exhaust for some people, but I personally don't like it, especially if I'm gonna have the kids in the back seat and stuff. Like it's just gonna drone them out. And yeah, so plus I want the exhaust to actually come out the back of the car because I cut the exhaust tip off that was on there because it was just kind of hanging there by a thread. So I cut this little piece off. Well, not little, it's a good 4 feet, but I cut that off so that way I could actually like mess with it and whatnot. So I'm gonna let this thing run a little bit longer and then go from there. All right, so we got the car back on the lift. I let it run for a good little bit. Danny and I are actually gonna take a look at this exhaust and stuff and see how hard it's gonna be to really make something a little better. As you can see, this O2 sensor right here has broken off. So I gotta go get some new bungs and stuff like that. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and delete the cats like I said I was going to. Probably get a flange for right here or make this all just one solid piece here and then get a flex pipe there and go on from there. Yeah, the exhaust mounts to the trans right here, which is weird. And there's literally no flex pipe in this one at all. So we're gonna take this one off and kind of see what we can figure out. There's a hole here, I just realized, right there. But we can booger that up and just cover it up because I really don't want to make this pipe, even though it's probably the same as like a damn motorcycle. Or would you say a lawnmower? So.
Old Briggs and Stratton.
But I'm excited that this thing runs and drives now. I took it up and down the driveway and stuff. Like I said, it's not tagged yet, so I'm not taking it down the street. But that's probably going to be it for this video. Next video, we're going to be probably doing the exhaust and a few other things. Searching for a parts car to get the quarters and the rockers and stuff like that to start getting it a little bit better. Now that I know it runs, now I can focus on just making it look better for now since it runs and drives and go from there. So if you guys could leave a like, comment, and subscribe, that would be sick. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.